Welcome to Kevin Deal Photography, where I take you on my journey through photography. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about the 5 most annoying types of photographers I run across on social media. Thanks for joining me today. If you're not familiar with this channel, I mainly do gear reviews, I talk technique, and then sometimes I dive into film. If any of that sounds interesting to you, I recommend hitting the subscribe button below so that way you know when I have new episodes. So anyway, let's talk about today's episode. A lot of you on here right now, you come to YouTube to find knowledge. You're looking for reviews on lenses, you're looking for reviews on camera bodies, but some of you go to places like Facebook groups and other forums and you ask for advice there. And that is where you run into these annoying types of photographers. So let's dive into the list of my least favorite photographers out there who are the most annoying on social media. And obviously, as I go along this list, if there's a type of photographer that just absolutely drives you crazy, tell me in the comments below. Number 1, the fickle photographer. I'm talking about that photographer who goes out and drops like $20,000 on a new system. They buy the latest and greatest camera body. They go out and they buy the full lens system for it. They sit there and brag about how amazing things are. And then the competitor comes out with a new camera that has like one feature that your camera doesn't. And then that person goes and they sell their entire system off. They take like a $3,000 hit, which I'm sorry, I don't care how rich you are. That's a really foolish use of money. And then they go over to that new camera. Then they use that camera system for 6 months to a year. And then the system that they were just on then comes out with not only the feature that their current camera has, but now they come out with a new feature that their current camera doesn't have. Now they sell this $20,000 rig again for like a $3,000 to $5,000 loss. And then they go right back to the system that they were using maybe 2 years ago. I'm sorry, that's a foolish use of money. And you got to understand, camera manufacturers are all participating in capitalism together, and they're going to try to one-up each other on features. So just wait. Trade in your body. Keep your lens system. It's a much better investment. Also keep in mind that there's no amazing feature out there that is worth taking a $3,000 to $5,000 loss on your system on. Maybe like the global shutter is the next big thing that you're going to see, stack sensors, things like that. But everybody's going to have that soon. So why take such a huge loss if maybe you love your glass and you love all the other features? I just think that's a really annoying type of photographer, and I see them a lot on forums. Number 2, the fanboy. I hate the fanboy. I've got really great news for you. If you're a Sony photographer, if you use Lumix, if you use Canon, if you use Fuji, if you use Nikon, whatever you use Leica, you can take great pictures on any freaking camera in 2022. You know, when you hear people go into forums, like I see this all the time. I'll see somebody who goes in and they're like, oh, I'm looking at a particular camera type. Should I get a Canon? Should I get a Sony? And they're like, oh, Sony sucks or whatever. It's like, Sony doesn't suck. Canon doesn't suck. Nikon doesn't suck. Fuji doesn't suck. Lumix doesn't suck. They all make really capable cameras. And if you don't know how to use them and utilize them, then that's on you, the photographer. But the person who goes out there and poisons the well and, tries to sway people's decisions in a certain direction, those people are the most annoying. Those types of photographers contribute absolutely nothing to photography. And the funny thing is, oftentimes, they end up being that fickle photographer that I talk about in step 1, and they're talking smack about a system they were just on, and then in 2 or 3 years, when that system has something really cool, they go back to the system that they were just talking smack about. So don't listen to the noise. Go try a camera on your own work. And if you like it, roll with it, and don't listen to the haters. Number 3, the complainer. I'm talking about the person who has $20,000 expectations and the $1,000 budget. They're like, oh, why doesn't this camera do 4K 120 and all these new features, or 8K or whatever? And then they have like $1,000 for a budget. I got news for you. Go buy a freaking cinema camera. When you sit there and you try to get a billion features into a camera and then you want it to do everything, like camera manufacturers aren't going to make money off their professional lines if they put all their professional features in these lower end cameras. So the complainer is really annoying. A lot of times the complainer ends up being the person in step 2 and step 1. There's an interrelation there, but I hate the complainer. They find one little thing that they want to gripe about with their camera, and it's just really annoying if you ask me. Spend less time complaining and spend more time taking pictures. Person number 4, the snapshot warrior. The snapshot warrior is the person who has more money than sense. They think that they have the latest and the greatest gear, and then they're going to go out and they're going to take great pictures. I own a Fuji GFX 100S. Most of the photographers who buy that are absolutely amazing photographers. You know, it's a 100 megapixel camera, but I've actually seen people who use that camera and it looks like they're just taking pictures with their iPhone because they don't know how to compose an image. They don't know how to use the exposure triangle right. They don't know how to direct a model. They never learned how to become a photographer. They thought that the equipment would do the work for them. That's just not how it works. I can hand the cheapest camera in the world to a capable photographer who will run circles around somebody who has a ton of money but no skill. Person number 5, the read the f***ing manual person. I got news for you. A lot of manuals are translated from other languages, and let's just be honest, they're written by technical people, and technical people sometimes are really terrible at explaining things. I've read so many terrible camera manuals in my days, Viltrox. I've read so many terrible camera manuals in my days that really don't help me. And guess what? Not all of us are the reading type. Some of us are more visual. Some of us, like all of you on YouTube right now who are watching my video, probably like to learn more visually than reading a manual. So the read the manual crowd, I'm sorry, but like sometimes the manual doesn't solve all your problems. Sometimes the manual does a poor job of explaining situational photography and how to apply your camera toward those situations. So yes, a manual is a useful thing and you should refer to it when you can, but sometimes the manual isn't written well, and especially when it's translated from different languages. I'm going to give you a bonus one, and that's the person who will always recommend that you get what they have. You know, I own an R5 and someone will be like, hey, I need a brand new camera. And if I were like a lot of these people, like, well, you just need to go out and get an R5. Well, why? I didn't even ask them like how they were going to be shooting. I didn't ask them, you know, what kind of photography they do. Didn't ask them what their budget is, and they've never probably put their hands on it. So why am I recommending something they've never touched? I have a theory that the reason why people recommend what they have is because they want to feel better about their purchase. That doesn't necessarily help you, the photographer out there, who's trying to figure out like the ergonomics that work best for you, maybe the lens choices that are better for you, because not all camera systems have the same lenses right now. You know, Nikon and Canon and Sony don't have all the same lenses for mirrorless. So depending on what you do, that recommendation that that person makes, in my opinion, to make them feel better about their own purchase, may not be the best thing for you. I want to thank you all for watching this video today. I hope you found this to be kind of entertaining. I just wanted to poke fun at some of those annoying people out there who are in forums. They're probably not self-aware of how annoying they are, but you know how annoying they are, which is why you're probably laughing at this video right now. I thank you all for watching today. I'm going to get back to the gear reviews. I'm going to get more into some film stuff soon, but I did want to have a fun conversation about people on social media who annoy me in the photography community. I'm sure you can identify with it. If you like everything that you saw here, maybe go check out some of my other videos. And obviously, if you could, click the like and subscribe buttons below. I do appreciate your support. And please tell me in the comments, who are the photographers out there who annoy you the most? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, I'll talk to you. Bye.